Hey YouTube, I welcome you to one of the best battles that I have ever had, and I don't want to spoil too much, but is an extremely long one, so definitely you're going to have to wait through it. But anyways, I lead off with Keldeo, and I go straight for the HP Ghost, expecting a switch into Celebi, who can really check, Keldeo, but then they go into their Chansey to completely avoid that. So now they go for the Toxic. I predict that going into my Gliscor as they go into Skarmory, which completely walls this set, and we'll see that way later on. But anyways, they start setting up spikes, and sadly I don't have a spinner, so those are going to be staying around, giving me a ton of trouble. But anyways, they go into their Celebi, and all I really want to do is go for the Shadow Ball in this thing. It does have the Grass Knot, and since Jellicent isn't really that heavy, it's not really doing too much. It's doing just under half, which is okay. But they're going to keep recovering, and I keep staying in, going for the Shadow Ball, really trying to get a crit, really trying to get a special defense drop, because this was without a doubt the #1 most annoying thing on his team for me. But I will give this guy credit. This is one of the best OU matches I have ever had. But anyways, enough of that mushy-gushy stuff. He goes into his Tentacruel, and I pull a double switch going to my Ferrothorn. And I'm guessing they just want to start setting up more hazards with the Toxic Spikes, which also come into play much later on. But I do go for the Power Whip, which does about 30%, give or take a couple percent. But now I'm going to go into my Keldeo, and I go for, I believe, the Secret Sword, predicting the switch into Heatran. I don't really know why he switched out there exactly, because I really can't do that much to Tentacruel. But they go for the taunt as I switch into Ferrothorn with their and they use it with their Jellicent, and I try and hit it with a Power Whip, but I am taunted, so that is the only whip I'm going to be able to use, so I really got to switch out of there, and I do go into my Jellicent. I wish I had switched this thing in on the 1 layer of Toxic Spikes, but I definitely wasted that on Keldeo, which kind of ends up stinking a lot later on. But I do burn the Skarmory, and this Skarmory also annoys me a ton later on. He'll see what I'm talking about. But now I'm going to go for the Scald with the Jellicent. Does a decent chunk, and yeah, slowly wearing him down, which is good. And now I'm going to go into my Heatran as they go for the Roost again, which is good, because now I can go straight for the Fire Blast, except for the fact that Chansey kind of ruins Heatran's day in every way, shape, and form. So I do just take this opportunity to get up my Stealth Rocks. I do know they have Tentacruel, but I just want to try and get some more damage on some stuff switching in. But because I wasted that normal poison on Keldeo, it will go down due to the 12% of normal poison damage. But anyways, they go for the Wish as I'm in here with my Jellicent, and just gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp. Really want to start getting some burns on some things outside of Skarmory. But yeah, this Celebi, like I said, annoys me so much in the match. Of course, it's not burned because it's switched out, and I do go for the Shadow Ball as they go into their Tentacruel. Now, Tentacruel really wasn't that big of a deal because I can just stay in here, avoiding the Rapid Spin or the Scald easily. And I'm just going to try and burn that too, but that doesn't happen because they go into their Chansey to once again ruin my day. So now I'm going to go right into my Lucario, and I'm thinking, okay, perfect chance to set up. But I'm pretty sure they predict that, and if they had not switched out and they had gone for the Wish with the Chansey, I would have actually most likely swept his entire team. If he had not made that move, this match would have literally been about 10 more turns after. It would actually be about 40 turns rather than the large amount that you'll be seeing in a sec here. But I make a huge mistake right here. Not so much a mistake, but I do go for the Ice Punch, and I know they're going to switch into their Jellicent. I probably should have just gone for another Swords Dance and try and get as much damage as Jellicent as possible, because the switch was pretty obvious. But regardless, it didn't end up mattering, because you'll see later on exactly what kind of a match this will turn into. So while they're going into their Tentacruel, they will Rapid Spin away my 1 layer of Spikes and Stealth Rocks, and they're left with a very, very small amount of HP, and luckily they do not get the burn with the Scald, which means Ferrothorn will be lasting much longer. So now they're going to go into their Skarmory, and this is pretty much where the entire match starts to slow down, slower than a snail frozen. Can't really put it in a way that you could understand, I guess, other than that. But this is where the entire match took a screeching halt. And by screeching halt, I mean nothing really happens for a long time. And I don't really mean to bore you guys. I'll put an annotation on the screen of where you guys can click to move ahead, unless you'd like to hear me ramble on and on and on about this incredibly stalling part of the match. But I'm going to catch up real quick here. So, as you can see, this is really becoming a huge stall war. And let's just say that the match isn't even half over yet, not even close. So, anyways, going to my Ferrothorn with this Chansey, and they switch into Celebi. Like I said, I know the Celebi is going to be a pain, and I'm pretty sure it's packing the HP Fire, but I do want to protect to avoid that. And I just want to keep setting up layers and layers of spikes. But because of the fact that I did see Recover, I know this thing really isn't probably that specially oriented, so I do take that hidden power very well, only taking 41%, but because of the fact that they have 3 layers of spikes up, I do not want to be taking that much damage. And right here, I honestly thought that this was going to be a good game, but I wasn't really paying attention at all because of the fact that they had Chansey. But because I do have Heatran out here and Tentacruel is now gone, I can easily set up more hazards in the form of Stealth Rocks and my last layers of spikes without worrying about them being spun away. So that's great, and I do get the Leech Seed off on Chansey, which means that even after one turn, I get a huge amount of HP back, which allows me to switch in one more time to spikes very easily. And I know the Celebi is going to be a pain, like I said, but they're going to go for the Perish Song. So as you can see, this is not exactly the most normal set, I guess, with Celebi, but it is physically defensive, so it can definitely take hits like you saw with the Lucaria there. But I do go for the Earthquake, and I so wished that I could take that Jellicent out right then and there, because that would have made this match a lot easier, because it just would have sped up the process right here. But I do go into my Jellicent once again, expecting the Water move, but I don't know if they predict that, but they do go into their Skarmory, and right here, I could have taken out the Skarmory if I outsped. If I outsped, I would have easily, as you could see there, taken out with Scald. It does 36%. They were at about, what, 31 or so. But if I had outsped, I would have taken out the Skarmory, and Gliscor would have just had fun with this team. But like I said earlier, Skarmory completely walls my Gliscor set. Flying avoids the Earthquake. Toxic, you know, it's Steel type, can't even touch it. And I have Protect and Sub, so there's no way I can be doing anything. And now the Heatran's balloon is, in fact, popped. I can't really survive more than 2 switch-ins now because of spikes, but I did pull a double switch, you know, because Heatran, Chansey is bound to come in. But at this point, it was extremely annoying because a crit would have been absolutely amazing there if it had done 50%, which is only a wish. Not saying that to be funny as it uses wish, but you know, I definitely wish that I had gotten a crit there, because this Chansey, the Celebi, the Skarmory, all proved to be huge pains. But they do predict the Toxic. They don't really need to predict anything at this point. If they see Gliscor, all they really need to do is just send in Skarmory if they see my Gliscor, and that's about all they can really do. But like I said, as you can see, this match is pretty long, just about hitting the 9-minute mark right about now. So, you know, it's definitely a long match. But like I said, this is honestly an extremely good match because there are a ton of mind games going on right now. As I do switch into my Heatran to get a little bit more of that Leech Seed damage going on. And of course, I'm thinking, okay, Chansey's going to come in, but I do go for the Fire Blast, just because I can. And I really, I can't even say that word enough, really needed to hit that Fire Blast, because if I had hit the Fire Blast with a combination of Earth Power, it would have taken out the Jellicent, no questions asked, because if you looked earlier, Fire Blast is 180 with Stab, but because it resists it, it's 90, same exact base power as Earth Power, but with the combination of Toxic, you know, all those 2 attacks, I'm fairly certain it would have taken out the Jellicent. Don't really correct me on that because I can't promise you anything. But I luckily take out the Jellicent after getting the special defense drop. And in comes the Chansey, and I do know that obviously I'm a ghost type, so they can't be using seismic toss on me or anything like that, so really going to work into my favor there so that Jellicent can last much longer. But yeah, this Chansey is slowly gaining more and more HP because of that wish, and I'm really thinking it would have that they would have passed it to like Celebi or Chansey or Celebi or Skarmory, but I don't really think it matters that much because they do have their own forms of recovery in the form of Roost and Recover. But I do go for the Toxic on the Skarmory. Obviously doesn't do a single thing because I can't do anything with Gliscor, but yeah, so I'm just going to keep going for the Recover here as they whirlwind me into Gliscor. Excuse me. And yeah, so Spikes and T-Spikes won't be doing a single thing to Gliscor, but the thing I really have to look out for right here is Ferrothorn, because I'd love to keep this thing around, and I protect as they go for the Brave Bird. But like I said, I really want to keep this thing hanging around just because I'd like to get that extra Leech Seed recovery on something so that I can get it off, you know, helping out Jellicent. Because, you know, Gliscor cannot do a single thing to Skarmory, and the only hope I really have against this thing is to stall out its Roost. Once I can do that, this game is pretty much mine, but I'm not going to spoil anything. That doesn't happen. But if Celebi comes right in here, takes a ton of damage due to entry hazards. But, yeah, excuse me. Alright, so anyways, go in here, go for the Earthquake. Celebi's just ruining my day once again, going for the Perish Song, doing a ton of work as far as I'm concerned from their side, but that is not good news at all for my Gliscor, because of the fact, like I said, if they want to be annoying and wall my Gliscor, they can just go straight into Skarmory, avoid all my attacks and whatnot, and the only chance I have, once again, is to stall out its Roost. That's the only chance I have. But, not going to happen, sadly. But, they're going to keep going for the Whirlwind, and finally actually take down my Ferrothorn due to Spikes. So, yeah, now I'm going to go into my Jellicent right here, and go for the Recover. I believe I had about 5 or 6 left, and I know that he's just going to keep going for the Whirlwind, so I'm going to go into my Jellicent, so that, you know, you'll see in a couple turns here. But I go into my Jellicent because I really want to start recovering as much as possible to where I can get into a safe range of HP outside of Toxic and the possible Brave Birds to where I can Scald and get a decent chunk of damage off. But I do switch to my Gliscor so that they will whirlwind me right into my Jellicent, and that plan's working out pretty good because obviously I have a free switch into Jellicent, go over the Scald, hoping for the crit, but even if I didn't get it, it would not have mattered because it wouldn't have taken the Skarmory out. Actually, it may have with burn damage. That would have really helped me, but you know, since this is basically a stall match right now, even if I did take down the Skarmory, that Celebi would have definitely given me a huge headache, even though it already has. So we're finally reaching turn 100. Extremely long battle, but also very strung out, but very good match. But anyways, they go into their Celebi, go for the Recover, and like I said, I keep going for Shadow Ball, hoping for a crit or special defense drop. I don't get either, and they keep recovering, so this is really getting kind of crazy. Go for that Shadow Ball, and it does 42%, so if I did get a crit on that last one, it may have actually taken it out based on min-max damage variations. But now they're going to go for the Perish Song, and that's probably the move that I don't like right now because it definitely did a ton of, well, it gave me a migraine, I'd say. But yeah, because, you know, you can see I'm going to lose my Jellicent, and the only thing I have left is my Gliscor, and I sub up predicting like a grass move, but they go for the Perish Song, like I said. So like I said, yeah, really annoying. And once they go into the Skarmory, it's basically over from here, because all they have to do is just stay in here and roost to do whatever they want and wear down that Perish Song count to 0. Once they can do that, they can easily win the match. But if I had actually gotten a couple of crits here or there that I really needed, I think I could have possibly won this. But I'm not going to say that exactly because he did play a very, very good game. And in my opinion, I do believe that I did too. But anyways, that was the extremely long match. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Probably not going to upload a long match like this for a while. But yeah, so thank you guys for sticking through here, through this long match. Very good match, by the way, November Rain. I'd love to have another match sometime. But yeah, so I'll see you guys later.